Richard and I have only been together about 20 years, which coincidentally is about the time that we came here, where we had this farm.
Okay.
So we were both separated. We met, had a love. So it's sort of, as I said, it's a love story coming here, because you asked how I could come all this way to live in a place like this. I was working as a landscape designer in Christchurch for a number of years, and when I met Richard, doing some design work for him, we fell in love, and Richard had bought this place, this wonderful place, and we wanted to live here. We had to wait for my children to grow old enough so that we could actually leave home. So we came and lived here when we redid the house about 12 years ago. Is it? Something like that.
Yes.
So basically, we've got 6 children between us, 3 each, and we used to come and go from here on holidays, because we treated it like a little holiday house for a start, and went down to the beach and explored all the lovely bush and went down and saw the seals, that sort of thing. But once we came here to live, that kind of passion for gardening, I mean, I've always been a gardener since I was a child, actually. And so initially I said I wasn't going to do anything that wasn't easy to look after, and I was really interested because we had our native forest and the idea of trying to create a New Zealand native garden. And I started with it. It was also probably about the time when that was really quite fashionable as well, I think. And so I began that, and so a lot of this early planting here is in that time, at the very beginning. But I've always planted big perennial gardens elsewhere when I was designing. I've always loved that sort of thing. So eventually that had to be out. So that was the long border. And now, or from then on, I've sort of been influenced by sort of Pierre Udorf or the perennial movement, all that type of thing down the bottom. But what I want to do now is to try to make myself combine natives more with non-natives and treat them. I had a lovely Irishman here who also has a garden in Ireland and is a nursery as well. And I was watching his photos of New Zealand natives, where he'd put them in his garden, and I can see that, with your own country's plants, the way they've just always been there, and you know them, and you just take them for granted, but you don't see them with that fresh look as somebody who walks into a New Zealand garden and suddenly sees their first cabbage tree or something like that, and suddenly that's a new plant. So what I'm trying to do is make myself feel fresh about natives again and mix them as if I wasn't a New Zealander with other plants, using plenty of them. So that new garden will get revamped quite a bit more. The part that's coming down the hill with the digger that's happening today will be that. So I'm an obsessional gardener. I just garden. If I've got nothing on in a day, I can't not be in the garden, can I, Richard? I just have to garden. And I just go out, and it's not a big ordeal or anything. I'm very lucky that I can do it so well. I am going to get myself a little bit of help so I can just do a bit more, because I've got lots more ideas.
A little less, but a bit more.
Yeah, well, why not? Yeah. So I want the garden to be easy care. I want it to be possible. Like if I had lots of cultivars with heavy heads, like the very, sometimes the very highly bred plants, sometimes they're not as durable as others, and I think that's worldwide. Everybody wants that. So I want them to learn to stay in their place and sit there and occupy their place without my having to intervene too much. And that's what I'm still learning, and I don't think I ever stop learning about that sort of thing. So probably I'm like so many other gardeners around the world, trying to bring a bit of the natural world and nature back, and not to work with nature rather than try to control nature too much. So that's what I'm still learning to do, and I've got many years to go before I'll get that right, I'm sure. If I ever never will, probably. So, yeah.